By nature, owners are always typically good at the quality of what they do. That's never the issue, but the other issue, which is numbers. Most owners don't necessarily come out of the gate good at finance. I certainly was not that way, but now, whatever, I'm better at that due through coaching and mentoring. But you ultimately, as an owner, when I work with them now, it's like they're the master of their craft. Okay, now when I bring that first employee in, well, guess what they do? They micromanage. They're like, oh, you got to do this. Oh, you're not doing it the way I do. And it would just frustrate you as owner. Me, in my first business, why don't they think like I do? Well, of course they don't think like I do. They're not an owner. So owners have to have patience. They have to recognize that their DNA is completely different. We are an odd duck, because we're dealing with risk. We're dealing with volatility. We're trying to balance this glass half full, half empty. We have to be in the solutions business. We can't panic. And the reality is most people don't want to deal with that, right? And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily, had I known what I was getting into when I was 20, it's like if I went back to the younger version of me, sometimes I don't know if I'd have done it. But the process of me going through it and ultimately realizing, and again, through my dad and all my coaches and John, it was like, no, what you have to do is empower them. You have to give them space. You have to allow them to fall and trip because that's okay, And ultimately, even though you're obsessed with detail, you have to show humility. You have to recognize that, and let your team know, hey man, when I make a mistake, I want them to know just as much, and I have their back.